Hello, this is Mr. Stein, and in this video we're going to go through examples number 1 and 2 for section 6.6, general form of the equation for a linear function. After you've done this section, you should be able to convert linear functions into standard and general form. You should be able to determine the x and y intercepts of a linear function in standard and general form, and convert standard and general form into slope, intercept, or y equals mx plus b form. Example problem number 1. Write each equation in standard form and then in general form. Okay, we have a little bit of an issue in letter A. There's no x. Well, the x is going to go right here. So we're going to rewrite this so it's correct. Y equals negative 1/4 x plus 3. All right, now let's get this into standard form first. So in standard form, we need to get our x's and y's on one side and our constant term on the other side. So we need to move this x over to this side. So it's going to become plus 1/4 x plus y equals 3. All right, so that's good. We're looking a little bit like standard form right here. But now we have to remember the restrictions on our variables. This a in front of x has to be a natural number, a positive natural number. So let's come down here. Now, the coefficient on x is 1/4. So to turn that 1/4 into a natural number, we're going to have to multiply it by 4. So if we multiply one thing by 4, we have to multiply everything by 4. And this 4 will distribute itself to every term in our equation. So we're going to get 4 times 1/4 is 1x plus 4y equals 12. Now, according to our restrictions, this has to be a natural number. This has to be a natural number. It is. This has to be an integer. It is. This has to be an integer. And it is. This is standard form. Now we want to convert this standard form into general form. And that's pretty easy. We just need to take this 12 and move it over to this side. We're going to get 1x. I don't need to write the 1 in front of x there. Plus 4y minus 12 is equal to 0. That is general form. So you can see here why I went to standard form first. I went to standard form first and then to general form. And this works in general form. Our coefficient on x is a natural number. Our coefficient on y is an integer. And our constant term is an integer. No decimals, no fractions anywhere. All right, let's take letter B. Let's turn this into standard form first. Okay, so let's start off with standard form. So to do that, let's start simplifying it. Distribute the 3 halves to every term in that binomial there. So we're going to get y plus 2 is equal to 3 halves x minus 4. Now, to be a standard form, we need to get our x's to one side. So we're going to bring our 3 halves x to this side. That's going to become negative 3 halves x plus y plus 2 is equal to minus 4. We're going to take away 2 from both sides to get it into standard form. Negative 3 over 2 x plus y is equal to negative 6. Now, let's take a look at our coefficients and see if they meet our conditions. Our constant is an integer. That's good. Our coefficient of y is plus 1. That's an integer. That's good. Our coefficient of x is a fraction. Not good. It needs to be a positive integer, a natural number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to take this. We're going to multiply everything by negative 2. Okay, and I'm going to show you a little bit off to the side why. Negative 2 times negative 3 over 2 is going to equal to Well, it's going to equal a positive because a negative times a negative is positive. That's good. Gets rid of the negative from our x. And then this 2 and this 2 is going to be canceled out. So it's going to be equal to plus 3. So when we distribute this to every term in our equation, we're going to get plus 3x. Beautiful. It's a positive integer. Subtract 2y. That works. Y, the coefficient of y can be any integer, positive or negative, is equal to 12. There's standard form right there. Plus 3x minus 2y equals 12. And then to go to general form, all we do is we take this 12 and we bring it over. You get plus 3x minus 2y minus 12 equals 0. Make it equal 0 to get general form. All right, so when you're doing this, you're always checking against the restrictions on the variables. Coefficient of x has to be a natural number, positive. Coefficient of y and z have to be integers. All right, let's head on over to example 2. Determine the x and y intercepts of the line whose equation is x plus 3y plus 9 equals 0. So we're going to determine the x and the y intercepts. Graph the line and verify that the graph is correct. All right, so let's take a look. What form is this in? This is in the general form. First thing we're going to do is we're going to convert general form into standard form. It's a little bit easier to work. In order to do that, we just take our 9 and we bring it over to the other side. So in standard form, our equation is going to be x plus 3y is equal to minus 9. Okay. Now, let's get started on the x-intercept and the y-intercept. We're going to determine the x-intercept first. To determine the x-intercept, we set y equal to 0. Okay, so that's going to give us our x-intercept. Our x-intercept is always when it's 0 up or down. So to figure out our x-intercept, y equals 0. Now let's put that into our equation. X plus 3 times 0 equals minus 9. So 3 times 0 is 0. X plus 0 is just x is equal to minus 9. So our x-intercept is at minus 9, comma 0. I'm going to put that on the graph. X-intercept, minus 9, comma 0. Right there. So I hope you all saw that right there on the graph. Okay, now let's do our y-intercept. To determine our y-intercept, we take x and we make it equal 0. So we're going to put 0 in for x in this equation. 0 plus 3y equals negative 9. So we're just left with 3y is equal to negative 9. Divide both sides by 3. We get y is equal to negative 3. So our y-intercept is at 0, comma minus 3. Let's graph that on there. 0, comma minus 3. It's right there. So if we're going to graph this line, I'll graph it in blue. We just draw a line through these 2 points. Whoa. And there's our equation. X plus 3y plus 9 is equal to 0. Now, how do we verify that our graph is correct? Well, I'm going to verify it in a kind of a strange way. I'm going to turn our general form equation into y equals mx plus b form. I'm going to see if that matches. So I start off with x plus 3y plus 9 equals 0. So I want to isolate y. So I bring my x and my 9 over to get 3y is equal to negative x, subtract 9. Now I divide everything by 3. Divide both terms by 3, and I get y is equal to negative 1/3 x, subtract 3. Okay, well this is my y-intercept, right? There's my y-intercept. And my slope should be negative 1/3. So if I start at a point, I should go down 1 over 3. Down 1 over 3. Down 1 over 3. It's pretty darn close. If I would have drawn my line with a ruler, it would have worked out. So I verified it. I could also check points on the graph to make sure they work. All right, I hope you found this helpful.